Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. This time we will be talking about comparatives as when we talk about qualities, quantities, and how something is done. This video is brought to you by Centro de Idiomas María Can. Remember that in a previous video we talked about comparatives, and we use comparatives when we want to compare some characteristics from two different nouns. By nouns, we refer to people, animals, things. When we compare, we are likely to use comparative adjectives. The adjectives are those words that help me to give some specific characteristics to the objects or to people or to animals. Before we make the comparative adjectives, we need to pay attention to the length of the adjective. When we have a short adjective, then the comparative form is made by adding the ER form, or when they are long adjectives, we need to include the word more before the adjective. Example: bigger, shorter, smaller, more expensive, more interesting. They are comparative adjectives. They all come from adjectives. For example, bigger comes from the adjective big, shorter comes from the adjective short, more expensive comes from the adjective expensive. Example: Kevin is shorter than Mike, and series are more interesting than movies. Now let's begin talking about the comparative form of as. In this case, it is important to say that this structure helps us to compare similarities, equalities, or inequalities. In the previous slide, we saw how to compare differences, but now we are talking mainly about similarities. In this case, we need to place an adjective between the as. For example, I am as tall as you are. It means that we are the same tall. Languages are as important as math. Now, talking about inequality. Cats are not as friendly as dogs. The word not gives me the inequality meaning. Now, in this case, we can compare quantities. This is the structure that we use to compare quantities. So we need to place the word many or much plus a noun between as. Example: Kevin has as many siblings as Mike. In this case, we are saying that they have the same number of siblings. Kevin has as much money as Kevin. Now, we're talking about the quantity of money. They have the same quantity of money. And I used the word much because the noun money is an uncountable noun. And I can also make in a negative form. Kevin doesn't have as many friends as Mike. Again, we're talking about inequality. They don't have the same number of friends. Now, we will be talking about how things are done or how things were done. This is the structure that we use to compare the way how something is or was done. Now, in this case, we need to place an adverb between as. Example, Kevin goes to the gym as often as Mike. Now we are saying that they go the same amount of times during a week or during a month. Shakira sings as well as Jennifer Lopez. Now we are saying that they both sing very well, the same well. And finally, we have Mike isn't acting as crazily as he usually does. As you can see here, between the word as, we're having adverbs. Thank you so much.